I remember this one time. Me and my homeboy Dre was at a cookout. It wasn't just any cookout. It was one of them cookouts where everybody showed fresh. The girls looking good, the music hitting, the food smelling right. You know the type. Now me and Dre had just pulled up, and I'm feeling myself. I had a fresh fit, fresh cut. Wallet got a little something in it. I walked in like I owned the place. Dre looked at me and said, "Bro, why you walking like you the mayor or something?" I looked back at him and said, "Cause I am." Dumb as hell, but that's where my head was at. So we get in there. I see this girl across the yard. She bad, like real bad. And I'm talking about the type of bad where you forget your name for a second, you feel me? Dre nudged me and said, "Bro, you see that?" I said, "I've been seen it. I'm already on that." He said, "You going over there?" Nah, this is where it started. Instead of being cool about it, I said, "Watch how easy this is." So not because I was confident, because I was showing off. It's a big difference. I walked over there smooth as I could. I said, "Hello. I've been trying to figure out who you came up here with." She looked up, said, "My boyfriend." I said, "Oh, that's cool. Where he at?" She said, "Right behind you." I turned around. This man was humongous. He big as hell. I'm talking about the type of big where you start doing math real quick. Jay, he been gone. He disappeared like he never existed. Had to play it off. I said, "Oh, hey man. I was just complimenting your girl. She has very good energy." He looked at me for about 4 seconds without blinking. It was the longest 4 seconds of my life. He said, "Alright," and walked off. I let out the deepest breath I ever let out in my life. Walked back over to where Dre was supposed to be, and he was standing by the food laughing so hard he had tears in his eyes. He said, "Good energy, bro? Good energy?" I said, "Shut up, man. It worked, didn't it?" He said, "You lucky that man was in a good mood." He was right, but I wasn't trying to hear none of that. See, that's the thing about pride. It don't let you hear nothing that sounds like a warning. It only lets you hear what feeds it. So instead of leaving it alone, I went and got a cup, posted up by the speakers, and started talking loud, telling stories, making people laugh, being the center of attention, just having a good time, right? Wrong. Because the whole time I'm performing, that same big dude, he watched me from across the yard. He not angry, he just watching. And something about a calm man watching you is scarier than an angry one coming at you. Dre walked up and said, "Bro, you need to cool it." I said, "Man, I'm just having fun. Relax." He said, "That man been watching you for about 20 minutes." I said, "Let him watch. I ain't doing nothing wrong." Pride talking again. See, wisdom would have said, "Thank God that situation didn't escalate," and gone to get a plate and chilled out. But pride said, "Stay in the spotlight." Pride said, "Keep going." Pride said, "You good." About an hour later, I'm ready to leave. Me and Dre head into the car. I hear, "Hey!" I turned around. It was him, the boyfriend. He walked up calm, no aggression, just direct. He said, "I don't know what you was on earlier, but I want you to know I seen everything. And I let it go because today ain't the day. But I need you to know you was out of pocket." And then he just walked back inside. No fight, no scene, nothing. And somehow that felt worse than if he had swung on me because I couldn't even be mad. He was right. I got in the car and Dre didn't say a word for about 5 minutes. Then he said, "You know what your problem is?" I said, "Don't." He said, "You was busy trying to look good in front of everybody that you almost caught a real problem over nothing, over a moment." I ain't respond because I knew he was right. Spent the whole drive home thinking about it. Not about the girl, not about the big dude, but about myself. About how many times I put myself in a bad situation just because I didn't want to look soft. Just because I wanted somebody to see me a certain way. How many times pride made me loud when I should have been quiet? How many times pride made me stay when I should have left? How many times pride made me compete when there's nothing worth winning? See, here's what nobody tells you about pride. It feels like confidence, but it ain't. Confidence is knowing who you are. Pride is needing everybody else to know who you are. Confidence walks in the room and is okay with going unnoticed. Pride walks in the room and starts performing the second it feels invisible. And the crazy part, pride will put you in situations that your talent, your money, and your charm can't get you out of. That man could have made a very different life decision that day. And no amount of fresh fit or funny stories was gonna save me. Nothing but his own self control kept that situation from going left. And I was out here acting like it was mine. That's humbling when you really sit with it. I forgot about some after that night that I ain't never forgot. Proverbs 16:18. Pride goes before destruction. No, this Proverbs chapter 16, verse 18. My fault. Pride goes before destruction. A haughty spirit before a fall. That ain't just church talk. That's a pattern. Every time I seen a man lose something in real life, if you trace it all the way back, pride was somewhere near the beginning. Pride made him not apologize first. Pride made him not ask for help. Pride made him walk into rooms he had no business being in. Pride made him stay in situations wisdom was begging him to leave. The smartest thing I learned that night wasn't about women or cookouts or big dudes. It was the most dangerous person in any situation is usually the one who can't afford to look weak because that person will do anything to avoid that feeling, even if it costs them everything. So if you're watching this right now, check your pride at the door. Not because you weak, but because wisdom knows which battles are worth fighting. And pride don't care. Pride will have you in the wrong place at the wrong time, fighting for the wrong thing just to feel right for 60 seconds. Don't let a moment of pride cost you a lifetime of peace. And I really want you to ponder on that. Really take that to heart. Don't be that guy.